Welcome to the Application Perfection Limited overview of our product Security and Access Rights Manager. In this demo, we're going to cover the three tabs: Object Access, which allows you to amend and update your access rights at an object level; Objects and Fields, which allows you to lock down your field level security; and then Record Access, which is a way of querying your existing security setup, so public groups, sharing settings, territories, roles, etc. And very quickly pinpointing either an issue with access rights, so why a person that can see something that they shouldn't, or allow you to understand why one user can see something whilst another user can't, and also give them that sharing permission. So first tab is Object Access. So this allows you to view and amend your access to an object across multiple profiles from one screen. So I've selected some profiles down the left here. There's also a few permission sets here, so let's add those in. And I'm going to use the campaign as an example object. So if I hit go, down here you can see the profiles down the left, the CRUD rights along the top, and then what each profile can do or permission set on that object. So immediately you might not want sales operations and sales support to have delete rights on campaigns. Perhaps that should be moderated by marketing, but perhaps sales should also be able to view all, and maybe not modify all, but view all campaigns. So let's give it a description of change. Submit with CMO amended campaign level object access. Hit save, and your changes are saved directly back into the metadata. So that saves you hundreds and hundreds of clicks, allows you to very quickly amend your object level access whilst meeting with a stakeholder. With the best kind of change management in the world, you might make mistakes. It happens with security, it's so complex. So we've also got logs here. So if I were to select a log, you can then very quickly revert your changes back. So what this is saying is that in the now column, that's the profile's access to the object today. In the log, it's what it was on the 16th of the 4th, 2018. So it's saying that today a sales executive has got view on the campaign object. You just want to make that change, but in the log they didn't. So you can very quickly revert your changes back, and changes have been applied into the database. So a lot of the time people would still rather work in Excel. Maybe you need to do that review out in Excel with stakeholders and then apply the changes afterwards. So let me pick some profiles here again. So go. And here we're going to very quickly export. Let's take some more profiles. So we're going to very quickly export these profiles object level access into Excel. So I'm going to select the objects I want to export. Hit export to Excel. And this opens up your object level access in Excel. So green means they do have the permission. So you've got your CRUD rights along the top and your profiles or permission sets down the left. You've got if they have the permission, it's green. If they don't, it's red. You've got the org ID that it's exported from here, the company name, the date of the export, and who's exported by. Also along the bottom here, you've got the different objects. So very quickly you can scan through your object level access. And this is in a format that you can take to stakeholders and they'd understand, rather than you having to spend ages formatting this stuff in Excel. You can also export logs. So if I hit go, let's select a log again. You can export this into Excel. So similar to the previous spreadsheet, you've got the CRUD rights along the top, you've got the profile name down the left here, and then you've got the permission as it is today, and the permission as it was at the date of the log. So this is saying that on the 6th of March, the distribution profile didn't have access to delete, but today they do. Here you've got the org ID that it's exported from, the company name as before, the user that made the changes. So in a team with a lot of system admins, you might have different people making changes. So this will tell you the user that made the changes to security. So you can ask them, why did you make this change? The date of the export, so that's today, and the date that the log was made, who is exported by, and then the description of the log. You can also generate PDFs. Sometimes internal audit or compliance prefer to have things in PDFs, so you can PDF it. And that really, in a nutshell, is object level access. It's a very quick way to either make your object level access presentable to stakeholders, a very quick way to amend your security and access rights online. So next we'll look at objects and fields. This functionality is very similar to the previous screen, but it allows you to amend field level security. So you can imagine in an organization with a highly customized object, perhaps the opportunity object's got 1,000 fields on it. It can take you ages to prepare that information in a way that's usable to stakeholders. So let me take the sales profiles again and use the campaign object again. If you wanted to amend manage package object level security, or at least export it, you can select it here. We're just going to use the campaign object. And again, if you don't want to see all profiles or permission sets, you can select one or the other here. So I'll hit go. So here you can see the object level access summarize the CRUD rights at the top. If you click the campaign, it shows you the detail on field level access. So immediately, we might not want everyone in the sales seeing how much money is being spent on marketing. It could be controversial. So let's remove this access to view and edit the campaign costs. Perhaps sales operations do need to edit it, but they don't need to. So they do need to read it, but they don't need to edit it. And perhaps sales support's the same. So there you can see we very quickly lock down our field level security. So give it a description of change. Met with CMO, wasn't happy about sales. Seeing campaign spend. So lockdown. So let's save our changes into the database, and our changes are saved back into the metadata. So now let's export some data into Excel. Again, this is very similar to the previous tab. So here we're selecting our profiles to export to Excel. So let's take a few of these. Export to Excel. And here you can see you've got your profiles along the top, and you've got your field names down the left here and the object that it relates to. So in here you've got the API name, so the technical name in brackets, and then the field name on the left there. It's the same kind of functionality. Green means they haven't got the permission, so they've got read or edit. Red means they haven't. And again, we have the log functionality, and you can generate PDFs as well. So the final tab is record access. So as a org grows, different system admins or maybe different consultants come in and out of the org making changes to the security setup. So unless your documentation, which is really up to date, which work on the Salesforce project, you really get the time to do, this is a very easy way of querying why a user has access to a record. So let me take this ID. So this is a demo opportunity. If I take this ID here, I paste it in here. So that's the ID from the opportunity, and I hit go. This is explained to me exactly why I, as a user, can see that opportunity. So all by default, default opportunity access is private. On my user profile, I'm in the system as a sysadmin. I've got modify all data, modify all records, and view all records. Reasons why I can access the opportunity in addition to the profile stuff is that it's shared with Powerny, who's our sales exec, who's a few levels below me in the role hierarchy, so I can sit that way. It's also shared with the territories, Europe and United States. There's also manual sharing on this opportunity, and it's shared with these public groups, all users, global sales view, and all users. And then these groups contain Powerny. I think all users also contains myself. And again, because she's in this role, it's shared with the role CEO. So as your org gets more complex and you have lots and lots of sharing settings or roles, territories, etc., manual sharing, this is a very easy way to pinpoint why a user can see a record without having to spend your time digging into that security setup, which is wasted effort that you could spend with stakeholders or delivering new requirements. So let's now take a look at why Powerny can access that record. So I'm going to paste an ID in here, select Powerny as user, hit go, and here you can see all the reasons why Powerny can access the record. So compared to me, she's got a much more limited profile, but you compare the two side by side and immediately see why one user can see one and one user can't. That's quite useful as well. Sometimes you get support tickets coming in where users complaining that they can't see a record but another user can. So you can query the user that can and query the user that can't, and then you'll be able to see the reasons why and give the user that can't the additional permission. You can also generate PDFs. Again, this helps with SOX, internal audit compliance. They like their stuff documented, so you can very quickly send them this PDF saying this is why the user can access the record. So thank you for taking the time to listen to our demo. I've kind of whizzed through it, conscious that as people working on Salesforce projects, time is of the essence. So that's a quick whiz through. We've got lots more functionality coming. Would love to hear any feedback that you have, and if you've got any questions or you're interested in the product, please reach out on email. Thanks for your time.